Are you guys catching the same vibe that I am? There is a tide shifting out there right now, guys, and it's kinda awesome to see. It really cracks me up. Mark Zuckerberg has one PR move every time he gets called out for engaging in censorship. I'm so sorry, the government told me to do it. It's not like this is America or anything, and I can tell them no.
And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship. By going after us and other American companies, it has emboldened other governments to go even further. But now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it.
You know, that's always great to hear. And I actually agree with the point he made regarding other countries feeling more emboldened to engage in censorship when the US engages in more censorship. But if I remember correctly, this is the tone he takes every single time he gets called out. So you guys remember when Facebook censored that Hunter Biden laptop story, right?
The background here is the FBI, I think, basically came to us, some folks on our team, and was like, hey, just so you know, like, you should be on high alert. We thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in the 2016 election. We have it on notice that basically there's about to be some kind of dump of that's similar to that.
So I don't know how much I trust his rhetoric on all this. It sounds like if it's not the executive branch, it's some agency, but it's never their fault and they can never do anything about it. But it's a signal that we're shifting the Overton window back towards classical liberalism, which I'll take as a good thing. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. What's going on at Facebook and changes they're making in our favor. We're going to get into it in a little bit, but McDonald's just came out with a statement yesterday that I think says a lot about exactly what we're seeing right now. It's really interesting the reason McDonald's cites for changing their DEI policies. So I don't know if you heard of this guy Robbie Starbuck, but he's been making waves and making moves in pressuring these companies to drop these racially motivated policies.
All right, everybody, I got good news for you. We got another one. You know what time it is. We've got a new company flipping their position on DEI, and that company is McDonald's. Now, let me tell you how this happened and what the details are. I've just got to give X a shout out here because I actually reached out to McDonald's on X to their senior marketing director on Friday, you can see here. And that was Friday, so 3 days ago. And today, this statement came out.
McDonald's scraps most its woke DEI policies, citing changing legal landscape. McDonald's has joined the growing list of companies that have scrapped their diversity targets. In a statement posted in its corporate website on Monday, the company revealed that it had recently carried out a civil rights audit to assess its current policies. The statement read, "Last year we completed a comprehensive civil rights audit that looked at all aspects of inclusion across our system. We also engaged with shareholders to understand their expectations and assessed the overall landscape of shareholder proposals. Following the Supreme Court ruling in Students for Fair Admissions, Inc. v. President and Fellows of Harvard College, we assessed the shifting legal landscape to anticipate how this ruling may impact corporations such as McDonald's. And finally, we benchmarked our approach to other companies who are also reevaluating their own programs. As a result of this audit, McDonald's will implement the following changes. We are retiring setting aspirational representation goals and instead keeping our focus on continuing to embed inclusion practices that grow our business into our everyday process and operations. We are pausing external surveys to focus on the work we are doing internally to grow our business. We are retiring supply chain's mutual commitment to DEI pledge in favor of a more integrated discussion with suppliers about inclusion as it relates to business performance. We are evolving how we refer to our diversity team, which will now be the Global Inclusion Team. This name change is more fitting for McDonald's in light of our inclusion value and better aligns with this team's work. And I think it's another sign that we're shifting the Overton window back in the right direction.
People have had enough of this, and I think it's time that everybody speaks up and that we get rid of this infantile way of operating businesses. We are the trend now, don't forget that. Because we have raised our voices, so many companies, over $2 trillion of companies have changed their policies, and we will not stop until we make corporate America sane again.
And so while given their statement, you can argue how much of their change is rhetorical. I don't blame these guys for celebrating their win here.
I have to say, I'm loving it.
Me too, buddy. Good work, my dude. Now, Facebook is actually making a ton more structural changes in line with more free speech, classically liberal ideals like we've been talking about.
The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created.
What a shift, man. And for stuff like this to be happening, there's gotta be a lot going on behind the scenes structurally. UFC head Dana White joins Meta's board, Mark Zuckerberg's second key right-wing appointment in a week. Meta has named 3 new members to its board of directors, including Dana White, Ultimate Fighting Championship chief executive who played a key role in the re-election of longtime friend President-elect Donald Trump. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced White's appointment, along with Charlie Songhurst, a tech investor who has been advising Meta on artificial intelligence, and John Elkin, CEO of Exor, a holding company that owns several automotive and other brands, in a Facebook post on Monday. We have massive opportunities ahead in AI wearables and the future of social media, and our board will help us achieve our vision, Zuckerberg said. The new additions bring the social media giant's board to 13 directors, including Zuckerberg. White's appointment is particularly notable as it comes amid a broader apparent ideological shift to the right within Meta's top ranks, and Zuckerberg seeks to improve his relationship with Trump before the president-elect takes office later this month. I love social media, and I'm excited to be a small part of the future of AI and emerging technologies, Dana White said in an Instagram post announcing his appointment to the board. Last week, Meta's president of global affairs, Nick Clegg, the company's top policy executive, announced he was stepping down and passing the baton to his deputy, Joel Kaplan, one of Meta's prominent Republican leaders. Kaplan, who held several key roles, including Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy in President George W. Bush's White House before joining Meta in 2011, is clearly the right person for the job at the right time, Clegg said in his announcement. Tell me what you guys think. Do you trust Bush-connected Republicans after Bush Sr., after Bush Jr. and the Patriot Act, after the weapons of mass destruction narrative that turned out to be a total fabrication? Meta has said Zuckerberg wants to take an active role in tech policy conversations with the incoming Trump administration. Unlike other CEOs, Zuckerberg met with Trump at the president-elect's Mar-a-Lago resort following the election, and Meta donated $1 million to his inaugural fund. So he's looking for influence. What billionaire isn't these days? Weren't we saying yesterday, hey Elon, watch out buddy, Zuckerberg's looking for your spot? Facebook and Instagram get rid of fact checkers. Look at the way they frame this. Meta is abandoning the use of independent fact checkers on Facebook and Instagram, replacing them with X-style community notes where commenting on the accuracy of posts is left to users. That is independent. A community note system is the most independent form of system compared to a quote-unquote independent corporate fact checker. What are you talking about? In a video posted alongside a blog by the company on Tuesday, Chief Executive Mark Zuckerberg said that third-party moderators were too politically biased, and it was time to get back to our roots around free expression. I like hearing that, man. Joe Kaplan, who is replacing Sir Nick Clegg as Meta's head of global affairs, wrote that the company's reliance on independent moderators was well-intentioned, but had too often resulted in the censoring of users. However, campaigners against hate speech online have reacted with dismay. Of course you would say that, BBC, and it suggested the change is really motivated at getting on the right side of Donald Trump. Either way, still a good move and a win for classical liberalism. The Zuckerberg announcement is a blatant attempt to cozy up to the incoming Trump administration with harmful implications, said Ava Lee from Global Witness, a campaign group which describes itself as seeking to hold big tech to account. Excuse you. Claiming to avoid censorship is a political move to avoid taking responsibility for hate and disinformation that platforms encourage and facilitate. What a framing device. Yeah, because you guys want centralized control over culture, just like you had during the early 20th century when technology dictated how far a message could go out, don't you? See, this is the way they lie to our face. Meta's current fact-checking program, introduced in 2016, refers posts that appear to be false or misleading to independent organizations to assess their credibility. Except they're not independent organizations. They're organizations that are owned by major corporations like Microsoft. How can you say that these are more independent than a decentralized system operated by users? The new system, which apparently Zuckerberg directly said he has seen work on X, involves people of different viewpoints agreeing on notes which add context or clarifications to controversial posts. The UK's Molly Rose Foundation described the announcement as a major concern for safety online. You notice how the BBC is only getting opinions from people that are representing other large institutions? And what were we saying yesterday about trust in these large institutions and how much of a mistake that is? Meta's blog post said it would undo the mission creep of rules and policies, highlighting removal of restrictions on subjects including immigration, gender, and gender identity, saying these have stemmed political discussion and debate. It's not right that these things can be said on the TV or the floor of Congress, but not on our platforms, he said. The changes come as technology firms and their executives prepare for President-elect Trump's inauguration on the 20th of January. Trump has previously been a vocal critic of Meta and its approach to content moderation, calling Facebook an enemy of the people in March 2024. See, I told you guys, Zuckerberg studied the Musk playbook and now he's going after his spot. And it's all because we have been pushing the Overton window back towards something that represents American values. And it goes beyond everything we're seeing here in the US. The U.S. ambassador to Mexico just called them out for them working with China, making fentanyl and shipping it into the U.S. in his departing speech at the U.S. Embassy in Mexico City. Salazar ended his conference by pushing back against current Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum's attempts to discredit an investigative report into Mexico's internal fentanyl production published by the New York Times on December 29th. I have worked with the Secretary of National Defense, Sedina, Secretariat of Navy, Samar, and the Attorney General's Office, FGR, and I know what is happening. There is fentanyl in Mexico, and I know that it is produced here, added the outgoing diplomat. Salazar, who served under the administration of U.S. President Joe Biden, is expected to be replaced by President-elect Trump's pick, Ron Johnson, upon the nominee's successful confirmation in the U.S. Senate. And he also said that he fully expects major changes in the relations between the United States and Mexico in the upcoming term of President-elect Donald Trump. So, guys, pat yourself on the back, because I think we've earned it. The fight's not over, but we're gaining territory. Dude, I think Trump played a role in Trudeau resigning. Let me show you why, guys. It's hilarious. And Kamala Harris was forced to certify her own election in a final admission of defeat. I also got hip-hop that talks about all this kind of stuff if you're into that kind of thing. Or check out some of the video playlists. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I'll see you on the next episode.